name has a Z in it, which is ballsy enough, but that Z comes after an X. It's called Boxzle. Boxzle. Unless I'm pronouncing it wrong, that means it's a silent Z. And no Z in the history of Zs has ever been silent. The Z, by its very design, must be pronounced. But Boxzle is all like, F your rules. See these animals? This ain't no zoo, bitch. Welcome to the ooh. So, what's this crazy thing all about? Well, Boxzle is a puzzle game in the eShop for the Nintendo 3DS. It's basically like if you combined those sliding tile puzzle games with a Rubik's Cube. That's Boxzle. And if that sounds confusing, trust me, it is. You just look at this game and you're confused. Then you try to play it, and your brain tries to self-destruct. Then you try to tweet about it, but you can't spell it because, come on! Who puts a Z after an X? We have vowels. Use a vowel, man! So there are 3 game modes, the first, simplest, and most enjoyable of which is the slide mode. So you get this cube, right? And each side is its own little sliding tile puzzle game. So to solve the puzzle, you spin it around, you solve each side. It's a pretty simple concept, and it's kind of fun once you get the hang of it. And of course, you can slice each side into as many tiles as you want. There's an easy mode, which is 4 tiles per side, but you can go all the way up to this insane mode, which, I mean, f that. Now, the second mode is basically Rubik's Cube mode. In this mode, you have to twist the rows from side to side and put the pictures together that way. And I mean, it's a really clever idea, but it's a real brain buster to actually play it. You have to think of, like, several sides simultaneously. It's kind of like doing several puzzles at once, only it's the same puzzle. And I think that's my main problem with Boxzle. This game has a really clever idea, but the execution leaves a lot to be desired. It never really explains itself, or its idea. Even your objectives, I mean, you just have to figure it out on your own. And it's pretty self-explanatory, but at the same time, it is a complex process, and it's not an especially clear one. Anyway, there's also a third mode, bordering on self-torture. It combines both of the game's other 2 modes into one. So now you're sliding and twisting, which, I mean, holy shit, this gets complicated. And again, it forces you to think about multiple sides all at the same time. It's insane. I can't even imagine playing on the harder difficulties. Playing on the lower ones is crazy enough. So if you're looking for a challenge, Boxzle has it. Unfortunately though, for me the idea is a lot better than the end result. And it's not just the game design. I mean, even the controls are a little touchy at times. Like, the row didn't always twist when I was sliding my stylus over it. Sometimes it would, sometimes it didn't. And hey, you know, maybe they were moves I couldn't make or something, I'm not sure. But even so, that goes back to the game being unclear. It's some voice work, some on-screen text. I mean, something to help you out here. As with any puzzle game, the presentation's sort of minimal. The sound and music are a little annoying. The graphics are pretty simple, but the photos are nice. There are 120 pictures in the game, each one its own puzzle. The only drawback is, a lot of them kind of blend together. They're always like, grass, flower, animal, more grass. So, a little more diversity would have been nice. This is like, it's like someone gave Snow White a camera. Boxzle is a pretty interesting game, and I think if you're a really hardcore puzzle game fan, you're probably gonna love it. It's very challenging, insanely so, if you crank up the difficulty. But if you're more of a casual player, it might be a bit much to chew. And spell. Boxzle is a great idea, not as great of a game.